Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhan Dhamman Sangham Namasami. It's very nice to see people smiling. Sunday talk. First time I sat for Sunday talk was 2001, September. My first year at Amaravati, Rinpoche Medo was having a sabbatical year. Usually those days Rinpoche Medo would be giving almost all the Sunday talks during the Vasa. But then Rinpo was on sabbatical, so the senior monks took turns to offer reflections. And then I did probably once. Just new to Amaravati, but still I did. And when I, not this Sara, but old Sara, when I came in, having seen junior members of the community, having seen me, probably very nervous. Then he said to me, "They look okay." So today I have the same feeling. So I very, to me it helps to see your smile. And then, so today the theme of gratitude, and just now we had a very wonderful occasion for Rinpoche Medo's birthday, and yesterday was Rinpo Pasano's. So when actually I was organizing this Sunday talk for this Vasa, and when I realized today 27th, so this Sunday would be Rinpoche Medo's birthday, day before, or would be Rinpo Pasano's, then I thought it would be very appropriate for me to talk about gratitude. Particularly, I'm now Ajahn is on sabbatical, and then my role is to, what is the word, deputy or whatever. So it's appropriate to offer reflection on this theme. And as I said, at the meal time, I was sitting just next to Rinpo. I really felt, do I have to say anything more about the gratitude? So it's like a hall was full of joy, yes, and also everybody was experiencing gratitude or expressing. After the formal part of the ceremony, by the Sangha was over, and then many people made a queue to come up to Rinpo to make offerings. I was sitting next to every single of them are really, I only have a very ordinary expression, face full of joy, but really full of joy. And also some of them I could notice almost in tears. And also, as I mentioned, some of them came all the way from New Zealand, some from North America, from Asia, Singapore, Malaysia, of course Europe, and then the United Kingdom. So really from all over the world, just to express our gratitude to Rinpoche Medo. Again, I don't know really the best word to express. So express. I mean, it's really wonderful. And so to me, so Rinpoche Medo, Rinpo Pasano, both of them, just like all of you, a very important person to my life and also to my life as a monk. Rinpo Pasano was the abbot of Wat Pananachat, and when I became a monk, 1987. And year before, my name Nyanarato was given by him. So since then until now. Also, so 1987, when I had a Upasampada or monk's ordination, I still remember very well. Rinpoche was already in his vegetative state, but he was for the vegetative state over 10 years, I think. But his condition changed, and then twice or three times people thought he would die. Condition became very critical, but he survived until 1992. Eventually, he passed away. And then 1987, in May, he actually became critical, and then what is the word? Bronchectomy was needed. So usually Rinpoche was in his nursing kuti in Wat Nong Papan, the main monastery of our lineage. But then because of his condition, he was moved to a provincial hospital in Won. And so many people, disciples and then Sangha members went there to attend Lumpo. That included Lumpo Pasano too. So when I went to Upasampada, those days we had to go to another monastery to have Upasampada. Preceptor was Chaukum Mahamon. He is also one of the very senior disciples of Rinpoche. So we went to his monastery. So at the Upasampada, Rinpo Mahamon was the Upajaya or preceptor. And he had a very bad diabetic condition. So he was also came from hospital. And then Rinpo Pasano, Ajahn Pasano also, he came from the hospital to attend my ordination ceremony. And the ordination ceremony was over, they went back to the hospital. Very quiet, peaceful ceremony, not like here when we have Upasampada ceremony, a big gathering, very serious public event. But when I had Upasampada, only one layman came. Very peaceful. And following day, we moved to a different monastery. I need to say a little bit of detail. Wat Kuan. It's a huge monastery next to water reservoir, next to the lake. In Thai, 2,000 Lai in acres, 700 or 800 acres, huge monastery. It has a large forest. And so Lumpos Meadow was there. Though Lumpos Meadow was already in UK, 1987, so should be, he's already based in this monastery at Amaravati. But once a year he would come to Thailand to lead a retreat for the Sangha members, about 1 week or 2 weeks. So 2 days after my ordination, Lumpos Meadow started leading a retreat in this, not Wat Pananachat, but this Wat Kuan, different monastery. And a huge monastery, but the dwellings for the monks is very limited. And the number of monks, 20, 30, 40 monks, so almost everybody stayed in nature. So you may know, we call in Thai language, grot. It's a mosquito, umbrella and a mosquito net, very traditional way of easy camping. It's not a proper tent, but umbrella and then a mosquito net around. So this is how you stay in the forest. And so most of us stay there. And it's a proper forest. It's not a rain forest as a jungle, but nature is quite rich. It means various creatures like us. Lizard. I mean, in this country, does lizard exist? But over there, and in Japan, I'm from Japan, we have a lizard in Japan. But in Thailand, lizard, and particularly the one in forest, is totally different size. So if you see it, man can scream. That kind of things. So that we monks also felt, we are forest monks, so we are prepared for it, but sort of bit scared, I have to say. And so I also put the umbrella and stay in the forest. Yes. And being being newly ordained, I was asked to take care of Lumpur Smedo's bowl, alms bowl. This is a bowl is where we monks and nuns eat from. And yes, so the first day, then not here, but in Thailand, every morning monks go to villages to do alms round. And the villagers are waiting for us and they offer food. So as a junior monk, together with my own bowl, I carried Lumpur Smedo's bowl. And the Lumpur Smedo, nowadays, senior monks more popular to have a smaller size of bowl, about I can't explain, but not huge one. But those days, bigger one was more common. So Lumpur Smedo's bowl is huge. So I was carrying mine and then his. And I carry until the entrance of the village. And once the Sangha monks arrive at the entrance, then junior monks would offer the bowls to the senior monks. And then our alms round in the village start. So I still remember I was offering his Lumpur Smedo's bowl to him. And I think he picked up how he noticed how I looked. Often people are full of joy after ordination, having finished, okay, now I'm going to lead a monastic life that I really aimed for. But I wasn't necessary. Again, so probably, what is the word? Nervous or cautious, or am I okay? That kind of appearance probably I had. So when I was offering the Lumpur's big bowl to him, he just looked at me smiling. And still he put hand onto my shoulder. And just say, venerable. Just like a one word, but a very clear word of encouragement, if you like. I'm not, this is my word, but the first day as a monk, I still remember it. And then after the meeting is over, every monk would go back to this grot or mosquito net, to individual dwelling place. And then so it's in the middle of the forest, completely alone. But I had my bowl there, but also Lumpur's bowl. So you know how safe you feel. So just by saying this from the beginning of my monastic life, really symbolically too, Lumpur's Medo and the Lumpur Pasano has been in my heart always. It's a very important, significant presence in my heart. And not only the teachings, but also just how they are is, again, I don't find the best word, but really significant support to me. These days, Lumpur Smedo is in Aroka Kuti. Most of us so much chance to go over there to see him, but very occasionally I have chance to go to see him, or in the past too. And then he would, when he saw me, he would say, "Ohayou gozaimasu," the Japanese word. And how he remembered this word is Ohio. It's the name of the one state in America. Ohio. Ohayou gozaimasu. Or in the daytime, konnichiwa, with big smile. And then I do not have to worry anything. So feeling of being received, that's not necessarily something you experience everywhere, anywhere, but in front of with him, that's been my experience always. And just so the feeling of I am allowed to be myself. That's really wonderful with Lumpur Pasano is the same. I mean, you may know when often he smiles and his laughter. So now I'm not during Ajahn Amaro's sabbatical time. Now every day I sit next to him. Initially, I felt very nervous about it, but now I very much used to. So always the warmth from him. And also because I've been trained as a monk from the beginning, and when he was the first teacher, so somehow when I sit next to him, I need to practice. that sense also comes by, and so the warmth and also proper kind of encouragement comes to my heart. So, so to teachers, this is my personal story, but everybody here, like a mealtime, we had an even bigger gathering, and a very tangible feeling of joy coming from gratitude. And I think yesterday, when Lumpur Pasano had his own birthday occasion, he shared us a short reflection, and he said that gratitude is we have, but somehow in the world we don't experience. And probably in the world we have more different elements that dominates us. And this experience of gratitude now to me it is obvious, very important. That just makes me happy, or no question. No question, very important. I have to say this many times. But then when I reflect back, when I came to UK, I had over 10 years monks training in Thailand, and I came to UK 2000 to 2001 to Amaravati, and there have been occasion to talk about gratitude or teaching the gratitude. Oh yes, of course. But then when I reflect back, actually when I was in Thailand, I didn't have teaching, particular formal teaching on gratitude as such. I think just gratitude is so natural there. You don't have to talk, you don't have to teach, but just there. And I think for me too, yes, I said for now, gratitude is so natural, significant, no doubt, that kind of things. But this is not the case 20, 30, 40 years ago, particularly before I became a monk. How did I learn it? How this gratitude became so natural to me? I think this is just living in a monastery, living in a sangha, living in an environment. There's always goodness, kindness, generosity, and then gratitude and so forth are clearly or subtle way always expressed. So when I was in Thailand, this should be same other Buddhist country like Sri Lanka. I felt like just reflecting back, I felt like I was in an ocean of gratitude. So that's why it's not something I have to think, or even I wasn't sure I was learning and such. But society, people, sangha, everything. And then also as a monk in the sangha, what I'm doing is like it's not necessarily gratitude itself, but everyday bowing, and then like today asking for forgiveness, showing respect, things that you wouldn't do in a society outside, but in the monastery, just every day, again and again, whether you like or you don't like, or you are tuned into or not, but you do again and again. And then you realize just this is a part of your nature. So when I came to UK to hear, okay, gratitude is actually being taught. And yes, so gratitude is something you need to hold in a more conscious way. Why is that? And then just like Lumpur Pasano said, this is a kind of meeting point, the monastic life, and then world outside, modern world of what? Many things. I don't know how to summarize. Maybe money value comes first, or the so you need, for instance, you need to prove yourself who you are, or who is stronger, who comes first, what do you have, what is a qualification, or who's right, whose responsibility, whose fault is it. That kind of element is constant, and you need to maybe survive, you need to strive to find a way. Can be very insecure, can be very competitive, can be very demanding. Of course, on a positive term, being responsible and being reasonable and so forth. But just remembering the quality aspect of the heart, gratitude is, I have to say, very, very different. And when I thought about myself before I became a monk, I was Japanese and studying, and of course I know the word gratitude. Of course I knew the value of it, but probably very superficially, or didn't think too much. Just okay, good. And what else? That kind of attitude towards the gratitude. And what's happening is I was a student, and I'm a diligent student, studying hard. So if I put a stronger word, I have to do my life and me. And who is before me? Can I do this with others? And I'm talking about the competition too. So the very strong sense of I was my driving force, and I believe I had to do. And so gratitude, that kind of thing, is just I couldn't bother. So after I moved to UK, just those how my experience of how I was, and also what I learned from Thailand or being a monk, it is very interesting sort of integration of two sides. Something I didn't have to think consciously in Thailand. Now I have to think. For instance, here people, we bow. When I was a monk in Thailand, when bowing, everybody does, I had to do. But here you bow, hand in Anjali, bowing to shrine, idol worship. But this is still sort of okay. Now you bow to senior monk, you bow to another human being. We are supposed to be equal. This is not right. And the people can think. And then do I have answer? If you are in Thailand, you don't think, and everything's just so natural. Or even if you feel resistance, but you just do as others do, and as time passes, it becomes really not natural, and you learn from it. But here, you need to explain why. So it becomes very good opportunity to reflect on what is paying respect or gratitude. Then when I think of gratitude, this is maybe not necessarily with you all yet, but as a monk, as a monastic mendicant, one of the reflection we do very frequently is, what is the phrase? My very life is sustained through the support of uh, gift of others. Thank you very much. Important reflection that I don't reflect. So my very life is sustained through the gift of others. I mean, this is what a mendicant means. And then also we reflect on our life in terms of four requisites. What we wear, what we eat, where to live, and then medicine. So this is we say we have very different roles, different status, wealth, and all the rest. But even not only the monks and nuns, but everybody, just four aspects we have in our life: what to wear, what to eat, where to live, and medicine. And this, all of this for us, it's a gift of others. Like what I wear, this robe, particularly this robe, I can think must be brought from Thailand. Someone brought, offered, and then actually my case is very special. This one is sewn by friend monk, hand sewing. So it takes a long time. It's very special, but that I can put aside. But so everything, if I think like a food today, we had lots of food, wonderful. But Sunday, today Lumpo's birthday, very special day, but every Sunday or every day people bring a food, or some part being cooked in a monastery, but even the ingredient are brought by lay supporters out of kindness. So people cook and bring, like on Sunday, they can do other things, but they choose to buy stuff, cook, drive here in time for Sunday morning, when you like to have a rather what we call lazy morning, but they put the effort to come to offer. And so really, this is not just like an empty phrase, but my very life is sustained through the gift of others. And if I think this, I know how much I owe to people, generosity. And then mindset naturally changes, because if I really think if I know how much I owe, then naturally, yes, then what can I do? What can I offer? How can I be? So that motivation follows naturally in a more goodness, direction of the goodness. Like this offering, I can think of, yes. This was when I was in Thailand, and Lumpur Pia, you may know, one of the senior disciples of Lumpur Cha, he has a monastery in a suburb of Bangkok. And usually our monasteries being forest monasteries in a remote area, local area, but his monastery was very much outskirt of Bangkok. So around the monastery, just houses, usual houses. And then, but because it's close to Bangkok, sometimes when monks had some business, they stayed in his monastery. So one of the Western junior monks stayed there, and they went to Bindabat in the morning. In a rural village in northeast Thailand, when you go to alms round, what you receive is pretty much simple: sticky rice and some boiled egg, banana if you're lucky. and then maybe later they bring some food to the monastery, something like this. But in central Thailand, often they offer all range of food, not just rice, but also curry, fruit, sweets, lots of things. So, and then this is middle, nearby, just outskirts of Bangkok. So, I have to say, all over Thailand, people are so generous, but that area is well supported too. So, when this junior monk, Western junior monk, went to Bindabat in the morning, lots of offering, literally full of bowl. So when he returned to the monastery, he just said, "Wow, this is too much." I don't know what kind of tone he said. And having heard this, Lumpur Piak said, "I wasn't there. This is what I heard from this monk." But Lumpur Piak said, "No, you should say anumodana. Anumodana is a word of expression of appreciation. And usually, foreign monks, Westerners, or foreign monks staying at the Thai monasteries, we are sort of being allowed making mistakes. I mean, if it's a Thai monks, they would have a more direct, strict teaching. But being a foreigner, maybe having a more hardship in fitting into the culture, they don't know the language and so forth. So somehow certain things just they allow us to be just how we are and let us learn, taking more time. But so Lumpo Piak also, he wouldn't say much for us, just more like really giving a compassion towards us. But this time he wasn't quiet. Instead, very firm. No, you should say anumodana. So this monk, probably he didn't think much, but this is too much. As if just you're relating to some usual items, something you have more than enough. So and I don't know, actually I have to say, I don't know what kind of tone he said this, but having heard this from Popiaks, no, anumodana. So this junior monk really strongly felt. That's why he shared his experience with me, and now it stays in me too. So my very life is sustained through the gift of others. So what we have in front is not like you can't take it for granted or just say enough or a lot or a little, but this is so genuine offering. So that is for Lumpur Piak. Even just a single moment of so-called mistake, he wouldn't let go. So I was very strongly minded. The other day, only a few days ago, when I was receiving a guest and talking with one of the lay guests, and he asked me, why don't we monks do not have care about the purity of the food? Pure food? I think he used the word purity. So I think for him, like too much sugar, that kind of things. I can understand, but I reflect on his question, and actually, what we have here is very pure food. You know, what we receive is coming from kindness, generosity. It's not like making money or somebody's convenience, or I give this, therefore I can get this in return. But a genuine offering, genuine kindness, genuine generosity. So if you think of nutrition value and then fair trade or this and that, we can think in all those terms, but actually what is in front of us, what is in front of me is somebody's generous offering. I mean, you don't have to use the word pure, but when he said almost like a challenging monk's food, this is not a pure food, No, it's really, even in the best food, so-called best food, but if you think of should be, shouldn't be, I like this, I don't like, I mean, if you bring this kind of comment, opinions, and then so forth, even the so-called best food will be spoiled. But someone brings with heart and effort, offer, and we receive. I would say this is pure or genuine, whatever, wonderful food. And I'm receiving this every day. What a fortunate life. But I think because being a monk or being a nun, mendicant, we don't give up using money. That's why we just live on the generosity of people. But even everybody here, yes, you pay. So money is the mean to get the material or services. But even if you pay, you get something. But to get this something is people's effort, hard work. Money is just a means to exchange the services or materials. But anything we experience, anything we have, is, if you don't like the gift, but at least someone else's support, help, hard work, kindness, and so forth. Even if someone is multiple billionaire, if I use such a word, but suppose nobody is available, suppose nature doesn't bring us any blessings, what the point of having a money? So our life as a mendicant, it's a highlight in the nature of the life, but it doesn't have to be a mendicant. But everybody, we actually owe everything to people around or to the world. So the gratitude is also to everyday life, everything we experience. When I think of gratitude, always also one thing I think is this is a practice in Japan called Naikan. Japanese word translation would be introspection. What they do is 1 week intensive retreat. So you stay in a small place like a 1 meter square. When you sleep, but apart from that, 1 square meter size, just so you put a screen, you sit there, and then reflect on again and again and again on the theme of gratitude. And then thinking of from your parents to family to friends, teachers, to again and again, 1 week from the early in the morning to when you go to bed, again and again. Very intensive, but only the theme of gratitude. If you think of the past, our mind, what does it do is, he didn't do this. He was so bad. So we can think of something, some trouble or some unfortunate experience, or so that kind of rather painful negative experience. But no, just focus on the gratitude, how much we owe to. There's a specific way to do it. I don't have to go to the detail. And the reason why I'm saying this is, I'm saying gratitude should hope to be more natural to us. I said everything, what we experience, we owe to people around us. We owe to the universe. But somehow our mind doesn't like it or doesn't go there. Why is that? That I want to talk about. And then this reflection, that the night after 1 week intense reflection, really they get to the heart of what is gratitude. Very interesting practice. But I don't go there. But one story I heard from a German practitioner, um, she had a mother who was an alcoholic. So being an alcoholic, it's very difficult to be a mother, as a daughter, instead of having a proper joyous moment with the family and love, care, and so forth. What you see, just my imagination is like a drunken mother, lost, easy to lose temper, and no time to gather out, and compared to other families, nothing of love, nothing of care, something like this. So for this lady, the daughter, to think of her mother in terms of gratitude was difficult. She thought, no, nothing. I would feel grateful to my mother. She was always alcohol, just with alcohol. So painful, so bad. But because of the theme, she continued. Then one moment, the memory came back. Actually, probably vision, memory. The mother was still cooking, although she was alcoholic. It's very difficult to be mindful to perform anything in a proper way, but still she was cooking for her daughter. Somehow the daughter couldn't remember this. Rather, she was so bad always. My mother is this. It's just so horrible experience, of course. But just the memory of the moment, even in the middle of a drunken, very difficult moment, she was cooking for me. And then that memory came back. It's not like a thinking, but clear memory came back. And then, yes, I was loved. I was cared. Well, now I can imagine probably this is the important moment of seeing what happened really. So I imagine having realized, yes, I was cared. She loved me. So probably the tear comes out, and a totally different perception of her life before, her relation to her mother. So when we think of gratitude, this is quite a dramatic case, but instead for us to think how or what we are grateful to, often we think, what do we miss? She didn't do this for me. He hasn't given me this opportunity to me. So we think in terms of what is missing or what should be. Or if we have something, we just think, take them for granted, as if that's just like if we think of the offering. Okay, food comes. Thank you very much. A horrible way to relate to such a genuine offering. But we can do like this, taking it for granted, or thinking of something missing, instead of looking at what is available, what's happening, what we encounter now. So if we think of, is it why when we receive something, or even meet someone, experience something, why our experience become, let's say, sloppy instead of meeting properly, is we think we meet with food, thing, or people with a memory, possibly, or ideas. This should be, or in the past I had this, today it's smaller. Or we have an idea, This is just ordinary. I want to have something special. So the ideas, memories, and also we think it will happen again. So if you think this is out of 10, just one occasion happening, okay, let it pass. What next? Next might be better. Next one might be different. Next one might be more preferable. So that our relation to what is in front of us becomes weak. Our relation becomes sloppy. So in this sense too, everybody knows the word here and now. Here and now is, I'm saying, like a Buddhist term or meditation. When we talk about the meditation, mindfulness, here and now is a very much key word. But this is when you meditate or in daily life, here and now is in a true sense, unique moment. If you think this moment happens again just out of 24 hours, 365 days, or okay, this will happen 20 more times, this is just one of them. Or in the past this happened, he did, she did, I was. So if we allow this to happen, fall into the idea of comparison, memories, ideas, our experience becomes sloppy. And by allowing this moment to our experience to be sloppy, what will happen? We lose the chance to be happy in a true sense. So word here and now, this is often we relate to the thinking in terms of mindfulness or even the meditation here and now. It's such a simple word. So, here and now, okay, thank you. And what next? We can think, but actually here and now, it has the word itself conveys us a very precious message, important message. Here and now, this is a unique single moment. It's not about comparison or linear time. We just cut. Today's a Sunday, out of 7 days, Sunday, and 24 hours is just a 240 something. No, this moment is, in a genuine sense, unique moment. So when we meet, when we experience, it's so the same way. When we receive, when we meet people, or when we meditate, all the same to me. And so being a mendicant, coming back to being a mendicant, because we give up the money, so we don't, people think we become a bit vulnerable, not having the money, we can't choose. Whatever people offer, we receive. So at first, we would feel a bit of resistance or worry, or how, if I have money, I can buy yellow but people only offer green stuff. When I want to have this round one, they offer square one. Oh, what's happened? I can't choose as I wish. So just a symbolical way I'm saying, but that kind of, we lose the control over or sense of security, we let go. But by letting go and getting used to, it's totally different experience. We appreciate anything as it comes. And this is actually helps us to be in a meditation too. Now suddenly talking about the meditation, if you meditate, yes, I only want to have a good experience. I want just the shortest cut. I want to have more beneficial time and so forth. And then when you have some so-called bad experience, waste of time. But this attitude itself, actually, I would say wrong attitude. Rather, receiving anything as it comes, as if we embrace anything here and now. This is actually essence of our practice or significant nature of awareness. And then, to me, this being a mendicant, receiving anything as it is with the attitude of appreciating, letting go of worry of things we used to, things we like to, but Once you let go, become open, this each moment, or anything we encounter becomes simply precious. So the same thing when you meditate. You think you have money, you want to buy a good experience. If you have that attitude to meditate, okay, today, two weeks, okay, I invested so much, I want to have a good experience, I want to get all good stuff. Nothing is guaranteed. Actually, that very attitude of choosing, I want to have what I appreciate, what I value. This is a very, very narrow way to experience life. But by letting go, open up, allowing, be here now, simply mind, appreciate. It's close to feeling of being grateful. So maybe shift the subject a little bit, but recently I was listening to D.T. Suzuki's talk. D.T. Suzuki is a Japanese Zen practitioner and scholar. And nowadays in the West, in English, there are many, many Dhamma, Buddhist teachings. But old days, before Second World War or shortly after Second World War, very few English literature was available. The D.T. Suzuki's one was one of them. And actually, Rinpoche Meado's encounter with Buddhism was D.T. Suzuki's work. He says that. And I was listening to D.T. Suzuki's talk in 1960 or something. He died in 1965, many, many years ago. And interesting, he was talking about freedom. English word, freedom. So usually when we think of freedom, is freedom from something. Freedom, maybe we feel confined, controlled, burdened. And then I want to be free from this, free from that. But he explained freedom in a different way. Again, he was quoting the Japanese or Chinese word freedom. In Japanese or Chinese writing, the jiyu, which means, difficult to translate, but something of its own, on its own, of its own. It's not about getting something or getting rid of something, but of its own. So I can't explain well. I explain a bit more. He was quoting one example. You see this elbow joint? And the elbow joint, you think of freedom. So elbow joint, okay, this joint can flex this way, unless you have some joint problem or injury, go this way. Does it go the other way? No, of course. But if you think this freedom is go this way, always through 360 degrees, we feel like restricted. But nobody think, because we know joint like this is just of its own. It's totally all right. And yes, if you want to feel each joint comes to a certain point, it stops. And if you want to feel restricted, you can feel, but we don't have to think so. It's just naturally joint is like this, as it is. And he used the word freedom here. I'm a bit frustrated with myself, how much I can convey the message properly. What he wants to say is, although this joint can be seen as something limited, restricted, but when you see how it is, just of its usual nature, just as it is, and this is the true freedom. If you think of, we have to make it, we have to change it, we do this, we need to come out this kind of struggling with something. This is how we perceive freedom in usual way. But his way of saying freedom is actually realizing what is like a phrase Rinpoche made often use, just as it is. Difficult. And if you still, I'm not. This is just. I was just thinking. It's true. This joint is. You don't have to. You know this, but actually, this is simply like this, and it's not restricted. So what he was saying then was, also he was talking about the rules, and then freedom from the rules, and the rule is something to prohibit you or control you, confine you. But if you become a rule itself, freedom is there. But usually our mind thinks in terms of fight against the rules or confine ourselves to the rules. So the relation is rule versus my desire. And then where is the freedom? And then struggle and so forth. But what he was saying is, if we become one with the rule, joint is like this, no problem. This is the freedom. Sorry, my poor explanation, but this way of relating things, the same way when we feel grateful, if we think in terms of this should be, shouldn't be, I miss this, why is this, how important, tell me, then I feel grateful. So this way, not relating each moment or people or things, it's very narrow, tight way of thinking of great gratitude or being grateful. But actually, once we let go, and then coming back to the present moment, then I can say, actually, this present moment, gratitude to the present moment. Because, number one, as I said, everything, anything now we experience is not like my own effort. I made it, or I got it, I am entitled to experience. No. This is, and also it's not just by chance, but people's support, people's kindness, endeavor, and it's possible. So in that sense, gratitude to this moment, and also when you reflect, just meditation, here and now, here and now, here and now, being open, just letting go of the idea of my meditation should be this, practice should be this, my character is this, my practice. Just let go of everything, anything, and just being at the present moment. Nothing is missing. Nothing is missing. Just what I call totality is there. But because we think, I should have this, this is missing, where is the goal, what is the meaning, then we lose, we come off from the place of totality, which present moment has innately. But so really what Lumpur Smedo teaches, this consciousness, present moment and so forth, but also there's a taste there to say gratitude, the present moment. I'm not, since this morning, because I knew I was going to give a talk about gratitude this afternoon. So since this morning, naturally my mind was reflecting gratitude. Oh, gratitude. And actually nice thinking of gratitude. Whatever I see, oh, so nice. But then also, yes, actually, gratitude, this present moment. You know, this is a here and now. We use a different words. But present moment is not something you strive, you have to make, you need to gain, you need to approve. No. Allowing. And then just what comes out is gratitude. Gratitude, the present moment. And no, I stop here now. Okay, just one more word. I'm not good at stopping anything. People may ask, well, if you say gratitude again and again, but I don't feel. And how can I find something to feel gratitude or feel grateful? And so this is a logic of our brain or mind has. I need to have something to feel grateful, therefore I can feel grateful. It's a cause and effect. But we can reverse, put it the other way. Just to start by saying, I am grateful. Don't think anything yet. I'm grateful. Wow, I'm sitting here. Everybody's looking at me with good smile. I'm very grateful. I'm grateful. I'm healthy today. I'm very grateful. Oh, this new salad is wonderful. So if you say, I am grateful, maybe when you said you don't have anything yet, but mind starts think. And so instead of just thinking, how can I be grateful? What I find grateful? Just following the usual pattern, but just go with, I am grateful. And wait. So just like retraining our mind, grateful. Because our mind is, I have to say, often more towards judgmental, making this is missing, this is better, I can't, or he is, she is, I am, and so forth. But just simply to say, I am grateful. I had a very good meal. I am grateful. Oh, I have friends. I am grateful. And I can say endless like this. So just reprogramming the mind. And then by doing this, also the sense of gratitude, again, helps our meditation to be at the present moment. I don't want to say this, but complaint mind is not a good starting point to practice meditation. And it's not the result of meditation if you're grateful, but grateful itself actually the place of meditation. And just as I said, I would suggest to a few times a day, without any reason, without anything, just say to ourselves, I am grateful. Even if nothing comes out, but just being grateful is such a wonderful experience. Okay, it's already 2 minutes past, so I have 15 minutes break, and so tea time. Tea is available in a tea station there, or I understand tea is available in a Sabri, and in a 15 minutes time, if you like, we continue with question and answers. Okay, thank you very much. This is Sunday talks. Now it's changed, but many years ago, when particularly Lumpur Sumedho was leading, the last Sunday talk should be in October. The title was always Gratitude to Parents. And the other talks happened in the old Sala, but the last one was in the temple. Okay. So, any question or comments? Gratitude is not something you discuss, but anything to share, anything to mention, you're welcome to.
Shall I share that quote? So,
yeah, please.
So there's this quote I found from Lumpur Sumedho mentioning about gratitude. It's from an article he wrote in 2006 called The Gift of Gratitude. And it goes, a life without gratitude is a joyless life. If life is just a continuous complaint about the injustices and unfairness we have received, and we don't remember anything good ever done to us, we fall into depression, not an uncommon problem these days. it is impossible to imagine ever being happy again. We think this misery is forever.
Yes. It's a really, well, 2006, right? But it's still timely. World is really, world is getting more and more, I don't know, the complicated, more information, more things to know, more things to remember, but somehow we don't become happier. So it's just Lumpo's word. The first line was, what is it? The mind doesn't know gratitude is joyless. A life without gratitude is joyless. It's a very strong statement, but like when I am with Lumpo, I'm just like, of course, what we would feel is his, let's say, humanness. I mean, he's a great teacher for everybody, but it's not like someone in very high stage and then give us a teaching from over there. But he shows his humanness. And also, when Paul Pasano talked about his experience of Rinpoche, because Rinpo Pasano spent a long time with Rinpoche, and then many things he explained, and we learned a lot. But the one thing he said was Rinpoche's living is simplicity and then humility. So this kind of thing is totally we miss in the world. Who is clever, who has more, who is right, who did this. We become tired of it, but not only that, we become more and more heavy. And then, I don't want to say this, but conflict, division is ever getting heavier. But just like, again, Lumpur Pasano, when he said a short reflection after at his Lumpur's his birthday yesterday, he quoted Mangala Sutta, one line, Gara Vocha Niwa Toja Santu Teacher. So the four qualities, so the respect, reverence, Gara Niwa to humility, Santuti, contentment, Katanyuta gratitude. So respectfulness, humble, being humble, contentment, and gratitude. All four, this is taught 2,500 years ago. But this is really true. I mean, this is talking, the teaching is about happiness. And it's just a single line, but this is really what we remember this, what we come back to this. Happiness is there. Opposite is, yes, life without gratitude is joyless. It's a painful thing to hear, but actually world can be like this. And then and also what I found great about Lumpo's Meadows teaching is because he knows human suffering, particularly suffering of modern people living in the modern world, the tendency of mind. And then based on that, he talks where is a cause of suffering and where actually we find the freedom, where we find the true happiness. But so these four, so respectfulness, reverence, being humble, and contentment, and gratitude. It's so simple, but four words if you put together, and this is not just like this is important, but in Mangala Sutta it says, this sutta is talking about the happiness. There is an answer, clear answer, said 2,500 years ago, and that we forget. And this is, you can think some kind of attitude or some word, a bit too strong word, but the quality has its own profundity, because of the contentment, good. But actually, santutti, content, suppose you are totally content with whatsoever. And this is total peace, total happiness. So it's not just like one kind of expression, but each four of them has significant meaning, and we should not forget. Yes. Distinction between contentment and gratitude. I have to say, my nature is to oversimplify things. It means, this is the same, this is the same. So I appreciate your question. I would say, even those four, my senses all come from the same place, but the expression is different. So contentment is when you, for instance, when you say, when you have a contentment, gratitude is there. The other way around, possibly, when you have a gratitude, naturally you are contented. You can say this too. I mean, this is when you, as an English word, we know what is contentment or content. So talking about content is against not content, complain, I don't like it, or something is missing, should be better. That's the. But so in that context, contentment is total harmony, acceptance, embracing everything. That is the nature of contentment, santutti, I think. And gratitude is, it's almost, sorry, again, I'm oversimplifying, but almost the same. If you come across something, if you let go any comparison, ideas, memories, this and that, naturally content is totally contentment with the thing or people or moment in front of us. Gratitude, it has some taste there, right? Great, I'm grateful. So it's so if you ask me difference, it's probably there. So the word, if you reflect on the word itself, gratitude feels like some warmth, or possibly next to is natural motivation to do something in return. Naturally, it's not like forcing yourself, but if you feel really grateful, okay, I do whatever necessary. It's not like out of obligation, out of a task, anything like this. So that this is, if I explain the difference as such, but probably very similar place. Yes.
I actually had two questions. First question was about the balance between gratitude, where it seems as if where we accept what is and what comes to us, and trying to improve things. So the concept of, say, bodhicitta, trying to help others, just trying to change versus being grateful for what is. And then the second question was also about gratitude and grief, and the balance between that and presence. So say if we are grateful for a parent, but that parent has died, how do we balance between being present in the here and now, but also acknowledging the grief and the gratitude for what the parent has given us?
Okay. Thank you very much. The first one, gratitude, and also that sense of motivation to improve, change. Not, so I don't think gratitude or even content is not like you have to be what you accept what, oh yes, accept how it is, but it doesn't mean you stay with, you don't allow things to change. So I think out of gratitude, you have motivation to change. Is it possible? Or, okay, this is fine, it's not a problem, I'm totally happy with it. So the natural right attitude follows naturally, instead of a desire to change. I want to do this, I want to that. That can be just based on desire. If I use a strong word, ego-centered, I prefer this. This idea is more significant. That kind of maybe based on narrow sense of ego. So that is can cause more problem, can cause more suffering later. But if you experience gratitude and that natural sense of, yes, I like to. And one of the example is Rinpoche Medo often talks about his own experience. After 5-6 years of training in Thailand, and then he went to Tudong or wandering in India. And when he was in India, suddenly he had a tremendous amount of gratitude towards Rinpoche, what Rinpoche Medo received from Rinpoche. So because of that strong, clear sense of gratitude, he thought, yes, I go back to Thailand. And now, whatever he says, I would be, So then Rinpoche invited or encouraged him to establish International Forest Monastery. Until then, there's no monastery for the foreigners. Before, when Rinpoche Medo went to India, it's kind of monastic structure of monastic training. After 5 years of initial training, we Tudong, symbolically we leave the monastery and then experience various things in a different environment. So he chose to go to India. And for him, it's like looking for something new, explore a possibility and having a break from this and that. But once he realized how much he owes to Rinpoche, and then it's not like a logic, it's not like you think, but naturally the sense, yes, what can I do? What shall I do for Rinpoche as a return? So in that way, gratitude doesn't block the change, further change. Actually, opposite. It can bring further change if it is necessary. That's the first. But if you think of just a change based on desire, more ego-centered desire, that's a different thing. The second one, gratitude to parents, but on the other, also one side can be a grievance. Again, first, if we reflect on gratitude to parents or whoever, who already died, became deceased. But that sense of gratitude can inspire us, motivate us to do something good, commit to the good. Okay, maybe we can't do it directly to the person deceased or parents, but okay, I've been given so much care, love, or anything. Yes, now what shall I do? So the same way what Rinpoche experienced. But then now, like a parent is not there. But even if parents not there, we still can do something very wholesome or continued practice. Then I think the grievance, sadness of not having a parent, anything like this, it's kind of separate matter. sadness, pain will be there. But I think once you have proper sense of gratitude, not indulging as, oh, well, my mother did this, I miss, she was so kind. This is not genuine gratitude, rather attachment to what she did. But gratitude is more clear recognition of, yes, I received this. Attachment is, oh, I miss. This is a different thing. But once we recognize how much we receive, how much we owe in a genuine sense, I believe that recognition helps to move on from that being possibly lost in a sadness. Because a sadness attachment is more like, I miss, I want to have that we can't anymore. But recognizing, yes. Because once you recognize the genuinely gratitude, the mind doesn't want to dwell in the past. It wants to do something good. So move on. Positive sense help us to move on too. I hope. This is what I can say, yes. Thank you, it's a good question, yes. Yes, could you pass on the microphone?
My question is about the present moment. Does it last only a short time, or can the present moment carry on endlessly? And if you could stay with the present moment, could we leave time behind?
I think can be a common question, but present moment, or like Lumpur Smedo talks about the consciousness. So when we think in terms of time in a linear way, present, past, future. So if you think of this present moment, how long it lasts, as you ask, or does it last forever? So this is talking from the place of linear perception of the time. But when we say present moment, or Lumpur Smedo says consciousness, or pure subjectivity, or whatever, the word akaric or timeless is truly the matter. So it's not like a usual sense of time is, let's say, born yet. Present moment or here and now, it's not about 3:39 Sunday this or Amaravati. No, it's all inclusive. Just this moment. It doesn't have a size. It doesn't have a size means width or time length. But once we think of time, so when we think of, okay, one question is akaric or timeless. This is the one attribute, character of the Dhamma, 7 of them. One is akaric or timeless. If you think of timeless, how can we experience timeless? Time is so obvious. Time is, I'm just living, stick to our body, our being, our mind. It's impossible to not to have a time. So how to remove the perception, experience of time? If you think timeless in that way, it is impossible or something very far. But instead, timeless is actually original nature. Timeless is actually experience of consciousness, awareness. Here and now, present moment. You can use the word present moment. It doesn't mean in contrast to past, future, 3 times and it being cut. This is the present moment and the past is over there. Future is over there. No, actually when we say present moment, here and now, or consciousness, it's the time is not born yet. But as soon as, for instance, you think, where can I when can I get the samadhi? Or when we think how much defilement I have, how much problems I have to overcome, then the size appears. This much of the problem I have to see, I have to investigate, eventually I have to say goodbye. And then okay, this size, how long it takes. So as soon as if you bring this, how long, how far, how, when, where, what, all these things appears. In another word, we fall into the realm of samsara, becoming. But when you stay at the present moment, in a sense of totally letting go, when I talk and do the meditation retreat, I often say doing nothing. Ridiculous word, doing nothing. Come on, I come here to do something. But doing nothing is actually putting down everything, no agenda, or letting go. So what remains, what appears is just a genuine present moment, aware. If I say I become repetition of what Lumpo says, I be careful about it, but just, you can't describe anything, but just as it is. But then, as soon as you think of when, as soon as you think, so what? Well, what is the next? Then we fall into the realm of time, fall into the realm of the samsara, becoming. And then what is the meaning? Where is the goal? Who does it? How much? How? When? So the time appears. And then wait, we have to work so hard. So, but where does it start is actually when we create and believe I have a problem that I need to work. So that has a weight, size, and that goes to future. And then that problem, how it comes, because of the past. So you carry all heavy stuff from the past, and then you think of the future, all heavy stuff. Of course, everything becomes difficult and heavy and almost impossible, but we do not have to. Rather, just stay in this present moment, in a sense of totally letting go. But our mind is not used to. Mind says, why? Come on, tell me. That kind of, we look for agenda. When we don't have an agenda, it becomes tasteless. But we need some taste of agenda. Life too. Often we say peace, and Lumpo says peace is too boring. And then the fighting, anger, excitement, we're so used to. And then when you don't experience this, initially you feel peaceful, but then boring. Where something, and then someone says something, oh yes, I want to hear more. That kind of habit. But even in a meditation, even in a practice, we have very, very strong, stubborn tendency. Why, when, what, how? And when we stop it for a short while, good. Then what next? Again, we fall into the realm of samsara, one after another. So this is a really tricky, good example of time. So timelessness, akariko. If you think of timelessness as something we need to acquire by removing the experience of time, concept, perception of time, looks like an impossible task. Or thinks of where is what is forever? This is 1 minute, 24 hours, 100 years, million years, not enough, long, forever. Wow. But this is how our mind can think, very linear. But when we say akariko, it's actually totally opposite. Originally, what we can experience, awareness itself, is timeless. We don't have to bound to be the idea, experience of the time. If I say more, I will repeat again and again. Thank you very much. Yes. Could you? Okay.
I have felt quite hurt by things that have happened recently, and I finding it hard to feel grateful. And I can accept there's a realignment or something new in this transition. But when you do feel hurt and you feel pain and suffering, how to find the gratitude genuinely is my question.
Okay, thank you very much. I think when I was aware when I talk about the gratitude, yes, we're saying talk about very positively, like life without gratitude is joyless. That's a strong statement. And if I can't feel gratitude, it means my life is joyless. If you receive it like this, it's a very painful. And so when we learn any teaching, even if it's such a good thing, such a helpful thing, but if it's our mind tends to hold it as a good versus opposite, appropriate versus opposite, beneficial versus. So we can make another problem out of beautiful concepts such as gratitude. I should have gratitude. You should have gratitude. But gratitude is like a Buddha taught in a Mangala Sutta. What is the happiness? And he talks about, with other examples, the gratitude. So but even this beautiful concept, if you hold it as a right and wrong, then we are capable of punishing ourselves. I can't make it. I am not entitled. I'm far away from the happiness. This is horrible. So not only example of the gratitude, Buddhist teaching, or possibly any teachings, we can make it in this way. Instead of helping us to find a peace, find a happiness, but just pushing ourselves to the corner. Then now, it is possible. I was aware when I was going to theme on gratitude. Of course, there are many cases we can't feel grateful. Yes, my experience when not only today I talk gratitude, similar things from time to time, and I can see from the audience as soon as when I come to the area of, for instance, gratitude to parents, some people just couldn't look at me, disconnected, having a very difficult time. In Japanese, we have a word dokuoya, which literally means poisonous parents. Heavy word. I think not ideally in the Buddhist teaching, we talk about like taking care of the parents, or in the Metta Sutta, how when Buddha explained the quality of the metta, just as a mother protects her child, only her child. So that's an example, but in reality, may be the case that being abused, abandoned, all kind of unfortunate things I hear. So then, how can I find the word experience of gratitude? That kind of things. So I'm learning. It's not like a all simple, straightforward thing. In reality, particularly in this possibly modern society, actually many painful sides are possible. So now coming to the question of when we can't find gratitude, rather very painful experience, particularly even the recent ones, that's overwhelms our experience, something like this. I can say I don't have a perfect answer to this, but I can say two things. Number one is metta, loving kindness to ourselves. You see, when we think of I should be grateful to someone, I should be kind to someone, when we can't, then as I said, we think, oh, I'm not practicing well. I have to find kindness. I'm not the right Buddhist, something like this. But honest, genuine experience is pain. And then of course, we are not encouraging to proliferate, enlarge the thought, but the genuine experience is a pain. How much painful, how much possibly damaged. So when I say metta, loving kindness oneself, it's as if we are taking care of, again, this image may not work well with someone, but little kid, what we do is just stay nearby. And then we may say something, or sometimes we can't say anything, but just sitting side by side, giving a sense of care, attention. So the same way, giving a metta towards oneself, just like caring one's heart, caring one's being, by initially recognizing, okay, my heart is actually so exhausted, so painful. And our mind can go two extremes. One is, yes, this is horrible, I can't forgive, therefore I have to do something. Tomorrow I need to find this and this. So one way. The other way is, I shouldn't feel this, I shouldn't have more positive, I should forgive, and so forth. So forcing or suppressing. But as we say, middle way is just to be aware. It looks like a very dry word, but being aware means allowing the heart to feel what it is. Yeah, really exhausted, or painful, or even just don't want to think about, don't come closer. Mind may say that. Maybe necessary even to say, paying metta, giving a loving kindness oneself to your experience. No, don't come closer. Mind may say this. Then in that case, okay. Just like we are caring someone being very damaged. Okay, now I just leave it. But I am here. When you're ready, I am with you. That way, just like imagination, we are with someone. The same way, now we are caring ourselves. Actually, we are not good at taking care of ourselves. I hope we can do something for others, but this one is more difficult because too close. But anyway, so allow one's heart, our heart, to be how it is, and a sense of care, metta, if possible. And then I said two things. The second one is also allow more time. When I was suffering, I forgot what it was, but some time ago, and the suffering was not small. So that's why my friend and another bhikkhu monk noticed I was suffering. And he was very kind. And what he said, one word was, Venerable, time is a healer. So, of course, in the painful, we want to have a solution as soon as possible. So it requires some sense of patience, kindness to oneself. But time is true. Time is a healer. So just one line he gave me, but I still remember. He is a very nice friend. So this is what I can think now.
Thank you, Ajahn. Just based on what you just shared with us on time list, how is that we can practice in our daily? Because we are surrounded with timeline. Thank you.
Yes. Deadline, you have to do this, you come to this meeting, you finish this, and then someone says, timeless is ridiculous. Not practical at all. So I'm living in this best, I am a monk living in this best environment, so what I'm going to say is, I don't know how much relevant to you. I can't say best, I know this answer is not really best, but when you have a chance, you can meditate. And well, to me, this is the time to let go the sense of time or allow myself to be at the present moment, which is not necessarily where my mind feels comfortable to stay. It's like reconditioning my mind. Being a monk long time, so I'm getting used to, but my mind still wants to go back to become. I want to do, I have to do. That mode comes back. But practicing meditation and being at the present moment, I believe I'm getting used to. So the same way, when we meditate, the longer, the shorter, whenever, just allow ourselves, our mind to be at the present moment when we can. And what was I going to say? Like in a monastery, I'm often involved in many things, like today in Paul's birthday gathering, I'm kind of coordinating. That's my role. So I have also, as a monastic, in the monastic life, I have deadline timelines. So I worry, I have to plan, and I have to rush, I have to sometimes feel disappointed, agitated, possible. But by practicing being in a place of present moment, perception start to change in the middle of the, let's say, busyness, time driving situation. What is the word? Taste of present moment can support us. Another word, very different way to look at it, just came to my mind. Ajahn Nyanarato often reminds us when we have a big event, like a Katina event, so almost 1,000 people come, and I'm in the middle of the organizing, and then in the morning of the Katina day, and I would make announcement, yes, please do this, please do that. And at the end, Ajahn Amara hold the microphone. Yes, today is possibly very, very busy day, but please remember, our purpose right here is not suffer. Like my mind said, come on, not that. But actually, very good reminder. Because this is a very different way to describe the present moment. But if you think of suffering and non-suffering, if you allow your mind to suffer, you just driven by time quite often. Like the work scene or middle of the event, yes. But just to remember, no suffering. What is that? So then I can recognize I'm letting go something, and then possibly recognizing present moment. Still things come, and perspective. I would say, let's say, I regain the perspective, something like this. So what I want to say is, like a present moment, or sitting meditation, when you can to develop the sense of present moment, or here and now, or this kind of useful word to reflect the aim or practice of is end of suffering. So that kind of word might help us, for us, preventing us to fall into the habit of just believing, becoming, I have to, which is, I have to, very necessary, very difficult to resist. But we need to continue. We need to work on this. So some of the words in a monastery I look up in Buddhist word, becoming. It's a bit funny word, and it's a very simple word, but in Buddhist term, becoming is just like when we talked about the timelessness. Here and now, letting go. But then, I want to. Immediately, we become something, we become someone, time appears. So the word becoming, the Pali word is bhava. Becoming is a key word. So if you see this, if you remember this word, what is happening? So this way, we can find some kind of skillful means or skillful certain word, phrase to remind us. It's not like when you meditate and what timeless is over there in the normal problem. That's too idealistic. But again, a patient approach, and we need to develop some kind of skillful means to me, like Ajahn Nyanarato's word, or word bhava, becoming, help me from being lost in the world, very, very stubborn habit of doing this, wanting this, not. So this is. Okay, thank you very much. It's 4:03. Thank you very much for being with me, and I hope I'm going to say something nice, but I can't.